Hello again. We're going to take another look at ELRA Resources Inc., stock symbol ELRA. To get up to speed here on a little history about this company, ELRA Resources Inc. is an exploration and development company which has accumulated a portfolio of mining properties in Asia and South America. Their objectives are to source out projects, conduct geological assessments, and seek joint venture partners to develop these properties. The news that we had in the beginning of April was rather exciting. They had acquired a property in southeast Ecuador that has tremendous potential for precious metal mining, namely gold. This property has a prolific 150 square kilometer region and is known to contain at least 15 important gold-bearing veins. It produced 4.5 million ounces of gold in the first half of the 19th century, between 1905 and 1950. That's 45 years of producing gold. That's pretty amazing. Well, what's going on now is that they have had some independent geological studies done and have determined that these gold veins go down to a depth of 1,500 feet, and originally they were only mined down to 200 feet. So there's some potential going on here. Now, we had some news again on the 21st that says that the infrastructure is shown to sustain large mining production. The area is fully accessible by four-wheel drive vehicles and is only 3 hours drive from the regional capital. It has good electrical grid with high voltage lines in range of the project. And so with the price of gold forecast to continue to rise up to a possible $1,400 an ounce by next year, all these factors combined will allow for aggressive development. So when we look at this chart, we'll see there's not been a lot of change in the last week. Once again, we've got moving averages that are more or less flat, and when we zoom in, first of all, when we're looking at this long-term view, you'll see that we do have a historical potential up here at around 38 cents, and more recently at 26 cents. So keep those price points in mind as we come a little bit zoomed in to see what's going on. So take a look at the moving averages, which is a pretty standard indicator, particularly the 200 moving average. This is pretty much flat, as is the 50-day moving average. We're talking about flat, no slope here whatsoever. The only thing showing a slope at all is the fast moving average, and that's quite predictable because it's going to follow very closely with price. So anything that's on a little bit more of a long-term stable indicator is showing that we are at a point of indecision. That's really what it's telling us. Now, what else is going on here? Well, you can see in the beginning of the month when we had the news of this property acquisition, price skyrocketed up on this first day of the 5th, all the way up to 27 cents. That's where the high was. You can't see it very well because it was the top of that candle, but you can see in the little box to the left, 27 cents was the high. So it teetered around up at near that high for 3 days before having a nice slow decline back to its support level at 12 cents. Now here we are, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th day, still teetering around in this support level. Now what I particularly like is that it keeps going back up to the resistance level at 16 cents. What makes that resistance level? Well, you've got these pivots over here in March, as well as this moving average, the 50 moving average, acting as a bit of resistance, but it keeps making a go at it, and eventually it's going to break through. Now, when I was looking at this last, I anticipated that it might be 4 to 6 days or so before we see any action to actually move up, and that's because the patterns in charts tend to repeat themselves. And when I look at this one here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 or 5 days hanging around at that same level of support where we are now before we had a pretty explosive move up. So looking here, look at the volume. The volume on Wednesday's news is even higher than the volume we had on the news of the original acquisition of the property. So I think there's a lot of pent-up steam building for this interest in this stock. So what do I see? You know, we're still at that same indecision point that we were last time I reviewed this a few days ago. We're going to keep watching to see that it makes it through this level at 16 cents. From there, we're expecting it to go perhaps to 18 cents, and beyond that to 20 up to 27. And, you know, who knows, if we start seeing that there actually is production coming out of that mining facility, well above 38 cents is I think what we'll be looking at, but let's just take this one step at a time. For right now, anyone who is looking to take a bit of a chance on this, be mindful that your stops and your support and resistance is somewhere right around this 12-cent range. So good trading to you and good investing, and have a great day.